many people here on the line. It's also a very a joyful occasion, even though everyone's still working from their home settings and we are not together all in Rio, as we maybe would have hoped for. We are still joining each other at the occasion of the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the United Nations Statistics Division and the Brazilian, let me say that correctly, the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, IBGE, on the Memorandum of Understanding for the regional hub for big data in Brazil in support of the United Nations Global Platform. I will have the honors. I'm Ronald Jensen. I'm with the United Nations Statistics Division. I'm supporting this UN Committee on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics. I have the honor to be your Master of Ceremony today. I'll briefly indicate to all of you what's on the program. You've seen this maybe in the invitation. We will have an opening by the Statistician General of South Africa, Mr. Rizenga Maluleka, who is also the chair of our committee. We will then do a signing remotely from Brazil and from Mr. Stefan Schweinfurt, who is actually in Germany at the moment. Then after that, we'll have a statement by the president of IBGE, Mr. Susanna Guerra. Then a statement by the director of the UN Statistics Division, Mr. Stefan Schweinfurt. A statement by, we will also have some statements from some of our colleagues, a statement from Mr. Tom Smith. He is the director of the Data Science Campus of the Office for National Statistics in the United Kingdom. And we also have a statement by Jose Antonio Vieja Guerra, who is representing the Inter-American Development Bank, before we close at around 11, and that's time in New York. I'm asking my colleagues if Mr. Rizenga Maluleka was able to sign on right now.
Not yet, Ronald.
Okay.
No, he's not here yet.
He is not here. I think we will be creative in our programming and we'll move the opening a little bit later. And we will start directly with the signing and followed by the statement of the president of IBGE. So I don't know how, if you have, and I have to ask Ms. Guerra and Mr. Schweinfurt, if you have papers in front of you? Yes. Could I then ask first maybe Ms. Susanna Guerra of IBGE, if you could virtually sign.
We are fortunately all fully digital now, so we will. I will sign while we're on the computer. We don't have papers anymore.
This is environmentally very responsible, and I welcome that. So I have to admit, I did run downstairs, and as Ronald said, I'm actually in my home, in my little boy's room where I grew up as a teenager, and I just ran downstairs and asked my mom, does your printer work? I need to print the most important document of the universe today. And it did. So I do have not so environmentally responsible, but proudly a copy of the agreement in front of me, and I'll happily join it. And I would not want to miss this opportunity for the world. So I'm happy to connect to you from my little hometown in Germany today. So I have 2 copies of the agreement, and I will sign them right now.
Thank you, Dr. Schweinfurt. I appreciate you joining during your time off, and I will be sure to sign them as well while we're on the computer in the 2 versions provided.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Also, I will also try to applaud electronically here on the signing. Very nice. So Susanna, can you actually share your screen on the signing? Is that possible, or is that we are not that advanced on this at this point?
I think we might not be that advanced at this point in terms of the multitasking, but I will
That's
definitely,
okay.
you'll receive it shortly on your end through your email.
That is excellent, and then we'll yes, of course, the official electronic signing. We will diligently deal with that after this ceremony. Can I now invite you, Ms. Susanna Guerra, to make a statement on behalf of Brazil for the opening of the regional hub in Rio de Janeiro? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ronald. Good morning to everyone. Good afternoon to Dr. Schweinfest. I'd like to greet you and thank you once again for joining us even during your time off with your family in Germany. I'd like to greet Dr. Tom Smith as well from the ONS and Dr. Jose Antonio Mejia from the Inter-American Development Bank. I also wanted to extend greetings to IBGE's board, who's joined us and is together with us today, and all the expert coordinators from all the technical institute areas around IBGE. So on behalf of the Institute, we're truly honored and thrilled to have been chosen as the regional big data hub in Latin America. I believe this will be will provide an excellent opportunity for the Institute to showcase and share its capabilities and expertise. At the same time, I think this platform will offer the Institute an ability to work in a cross-cutting manner, breaking organizational silos, and further strengthening the integration between geography and statistics. Which we fortunately have, like Mexico, under one roof. I'd like to go on. It's very hard nowadays to reflect upon the last year without talking about the pandemic and the global pandemic in its cross-country as a cross-country phenomenon has really further reinforced the need for multilateral cooperation, and especially a South-South cooperation. And that in IBGE's standpoint, and I imagine for others as well, has a particular significance because it has been problem-driven, it has been hands-on, and it has included short feedback loops between enumerators and those who are in the front line collecting data and those in the more technical departments. And furthermore, it has emphasized the importance of having tailored, customized solutions that are more agile and efficient to developing countries, especially during the context of a crisis when we need solutions to be more agile than ever. So over the past 13 months, I wanted to reflect on the work of my colleagues and the results that all of the colleagues that are here and those beyond 10,000 colleagues at IBGE that have contributed to significant changes along 6 lines of effort within the institute. And the first one was really emblematic of what we're doing today in a way, is migrating everyone to a remote work platform. We had that to some extent, a couple of dozens people working on such platform at a time, but never at the scale of 10,000 people as we now have. We have instituted electronic signatures, as We've noticed from the signing ceremony, we have an entire automatic workflow program, and we're fully functioning in a virtual manner and also adhered to other government automatic systems. So we're both intra the institution integrated, but also intergovernmentally integrated. The second line of effort has been a technological transformation in a very short period of time. And that has involved both the use and absorption of more data registries. During this period, the government has enhanced and worked upon different types of programs, including social assistance programs. And these have led to the creation of new cadasters and data registries that we have been able to have access and are now using and fully absorbed within the Institute. And so this has allowed us to spend more time on the analytics of the data and less time on processing. And the other area is also drawing on new technological tools, such as web scraping in the context of inflation rates, where we have automatized and a large part of the price structure and fully digitalized the other part. So we're making consistent progress based on work that was already ongoing in the Institute, but due to the pandemic have accelerated even more. The third area where we've made progress was enhancing our communication strategies and doing it in this new virtual setting, both internally through new fora within the Institute, having bi-weekly meetings, 200 to 300 members in each meeting, where we were able to really shorten the link between the front line and those at headquarters. And external communication and awareness campaigns as well, campaigns that have really enhanced our ability and to collect our data in a more efficient manner. The fourth line of effort, which is more disruptive than the three previous one, has been the creation of new pulse surveys. New pulse surveys that have allowed us to measure the impact of the pandemic on the economy. Both the PNAD COVID is our main, drawing on our main household survey focused on labor market indicators. We have tailored it to the COVID context last year, had one cycle of that survey, and we've also had another edition of our SME, the small and medium enterprise survey, last year as well. The fifth area was the implementation of a full distance learning platform, which happened through our university that is now functioning fully online, and we have a capacity building effort that really has scaled to the entire Institute, training thousands of people at a time during a moment where we needed to expedite these pulse surveys and have new enumerators trained in a very short period of time. Last but not least has been our efforts in dissemination and how much progress we've made in terms of focusing that dissemination, building on what had been done within IBGE in terms of getting dashboards to stakeholders in a more customized and user-friendly manner. From the government local provider to the citizen, having those customized and accessible in a more expedient manner. And why do I bring all of these changes to the forefront of our discussion? Because they have led to very important and significant lessons during a very short period of time across the Institute. And indeed, they also have a strong bearing on the next national census that IBGE will conduct. And this census edition will rely on three pillars that really draw on these changes. The first one will be a hybrid data collection model that involves both a CATI model that's decentralized and done remotely, as well as the traditional presential and online versions. The second pillar is drawing on technology and new data platforms so that we can enhance supervision and monitoring of the operation and enhance coverage rates and really guarantee the quality of this operation in real time. And the third and last pillar of the upcoming census operation will be the focus on health protocols and really drawing on best practice both nationally and internationally on those safety and health protocols. So the regional hub today is a moment where we celebrate what all the technical teams here, it's all their merit and what they have achieved during this very difficult 13 months where IBGE can strongly affirm that the Institute has released every single number. We have an average of 225 releases per year. And during this time, the Institute did not skip a beat in these releases. So it is a tremendous effort from all the teams that are here today present. And the hub consolidates, is an opportunity for us to consolidate all of these changes that have occurred in this very short period of time, and at the same time build on this experience so that we can further make more progress in the direction of this modernization agenda that is ongoing. As we think about this consolidation with the hub as a platform, we also think about the value of the South-South cooperation and the ability to draw on this consolidation, draw on all of this progress, and also extrapolate these lessons and have an exchange that is very rich and ongoing with other low and middle income countries across Latin America. And so today, as I said before, it is really an honor, and on behalf of IBGE, I would like to thank UNSD and all our key partners present, in particular the Inter-American Development Bank, with José Antonio here, Mejia, who has tracked and followed and supported our progress since our early days. I can say José Antonio has been with IBGE for the last 2 years, at least, in our collaboration. And it is a singular moment for all of us to be together here under the auspice of UNSD, celebrating the importance of this hub and showcase what the Institute can do, especially in times of change and adversity, due to the resilience, to the competence, and to the strength of commitment of all IBGEanos, as we call ourselves, during this very difficult time, and building on 84 years of tradition and excellence. IBGE is truly the crown jewel of Brazilian public service, and I have every confidence that it will continue on its path of excellence and continuous innovation. So I would like, lastly, to reach out to every coordinator and every technical team that is here present today, and thank you once again for your contributions to the implementation of this important program, of this important platform. And in particular, I would like to extend thanks to ANSI, our university, and especially Maísa Magalhães, our director, who has conducted a brilliant stewardship to bring us to this very special occasion today. And I'd also like to extend thanks to her wonderful team. And with this, I'd like to end my remarks wishing all of the teams every success in this new endeavor. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Susanna. in a live session, we would have an applause, and now we have a virtual. Thank you very much for these important words. I have received the message that our chair Rizenga is here. I would like first, though, to ask Stefan Schweinfest to reply in his statement, and after that we will come to the other colleagues. Stefan, please go ahead.
Okay, dear colleagues and friends, I mean, as I said, I'm sitting here in my parents' house in Germany, and the light is not perfect, and I don't have an elegant background as Ronald has with big data there. But I'm just happy. Traveling from my little village to Rio in a couple of seconds is one of the privileges of this crisis. And I'm happy to do it in the company. And I just learned a new word, IBGEanos. So welcome all of the IBGEanos. I mean, I'm happy. I see over 40 participants. So always count on the Brazilians to throw a spontaneous party. I mean, this was only a concept not even 2 or 3 days ago. And now here we are, and there's the conflux of two communities, the global community on big data, and I welcome all of my international friends there and all of our Brazilian friends. Of course, IBG is one of our favorite partners at the UN Statistics Division. For many, many years, I've had the pleasure to work with you together. And I know that you are not only a regional force, but that you are also a global force. I mean, I've worked with you in the context of the PALOPS and the BRICS countries. So Brazil is a partner at the table regionally and globally. So I think you are the ideal partner for us as a UN a statistics division to sign a contract with, a partnership, a friendship agreement, I would just simply call it. Because of two simple reasons, your competence and your generosity. And that's why I'm here to thank you for that. You're putting this into this particular contract. And it is a very important moment. I mean, we had the COVID crisis. We are having the COVID crisis. We are hopeful that we will get out of it soon, but we're still in the middle of it. And for us statisticians, it was a double catastrophe. The demand went through the roof within seconds, literally, and the need for good data, and the supply side, our sources, broke away because our regular data collection processes could not continue to function. And big data is just one of those examples where we have actually been imaginative, agile, as you just described, and to respond to this crisis. And we have started the big data program at the UN many, many years ago, and we have many friends here around the table that have helped us, the chairs of the Big Data Committee, Global Committee, the United Kingdom, of course, represented by Tom here, who's been giving us a lot of support in the initial investment of the global platform. And of course, the regional platforms and the global platforms, in my view, are part of a joint architecture. And the idea is basically a very simple one. We put data, unusual, unofficial, not standard data, big data on the platform. We put tools, knowledge, and algorithms on the platforms, and we put training material so that we can learn all together and share the knowledge that and the tools that and the data that somebody around the globe may have been able to put together. And that's our job at the United Nations. We always say the only power that we have is the convening power, bringing people together and help to share. And that's what we are doing with the global platform. And the regional platforms are an important and integral part of this architecture. So I'm very happy that we can sign this agreement today, build on all the experiences that we already had of using satellite imagery for crop statistics, of using ship statistics data from shipping for the very important measurement of where we are at this critical moment with our trade and with our economy. And in particular, you as IBG are an ideal partner because you represent the full integration of statistics and geospatial information. So who better to work with you as our hub, as our entry point for the Latin American region? I mentioned this yesterday at the opening of the executive committee of the conference of the statisticians of the Americas. And of course, we have Jose Antonio here as another representative of a regional institution that is a partner in this endeavor. And I have no doubt with your knowledge and your generosity, as I said, and your approach of sharing knowledge, that this will be a very powerful hub for the region, and I'm very much looking forward to. And I'm also pleased to learn about your very special partnership with the National School of Statistical Science, because we have that important element of training and knowledge sharing. So I think this is really a conflux of all possible elements here. And I can only thank you, and I can only give you in return our deepest commitment from our side at UNSD to work with you, to work with your institution, to work with your staff and your experts to make this regional hub as part of the global architecture a true success. And I'm lucky to have people like Ronald, who has really proven to be the global leader on this big data program. And we are and we will remain committed to work together, not only with you, but with the whole region and the whole world on this important topic. So it's a pleasure for me. It's a celebration. It's not, I don't consider this as an administrative duty. It is a joyful, Ronald used that word, and I think it's the most appropriate one to characterize of what we are doing, a joyful occasion. And I'm happy to sign this agreement wholeheartedly with you today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stefan. Again, some virtual applause from around the world. Thank you. I just want to mention so that we have in this virtual event, we have our colleagues from IBGE in Brazil. We have also a number of colleagues from the UN Statistics Division. I would like to mention that. And we have colleagues from the Bureau of the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data, Data Science, as well as some of the task teams leaders. They're all invited, and I've seen that they have logged on. I think this is a good moment to bring in the chair of the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics, which is Mr. Rizenga Maluleke, the Statistician General of South Africa. Rizenga, I heard you're in. I've not seen you yet. Please, if you could open your video and your microphone, I would give you now the floor to address our group of participants today. Please, Mr. Rizenga.
I suppose you can now see me, Ronald. I can see all of you.
Yes, now we can see you. Very much welcome. You have the floor.
Let me appreciate the work you have been doing, Ronald, in steering the meeting while I struggled with technical connections, and of course, other colleagues like Niels and Tom Smith are on standby for any eventuality of technological failures to take us forward. But let me take this opportunity to appreciate the statement by the director of the UNSD, Mr. Stefan Schweinfest, and echo his message to our Brazilian colleagues who we happen to share the same platform on BRICS as BRICS countries. And indeed, Ms. Susana Aguera, who is the president of the Institute for Geography and Statistics on the Brazilian side. As the Community of Statistical Institute, we have been trying, and each of us have been trying to deliver relevant, timely, and high-quality information to our government, our citizenry, and of course, all our users. And in this regard, let me mention that big data transformation over the last decade has taken us to different places. It has taken us to the space of big data, data streams, data lakes, citizen-generated data, and data science. It's quite interesting that as a community of official statisticians, we are obliged to respond to changes at all times. And the biggest question we are asking ourselves is how we could deploy big data and data science to improve on the delivery of the work that we do and make sure that life is a lot more better for the citizenry in our countries and the world over. Over the last 7 years, let me mention that we have come together as a community to make sure that we develop methods and tools to deal with issues of satellite data. So we are able to use satellite data, mobile phone data, scanner data, and of course, artificial intelligence, vessel tracking data. And of course, we have to take care of issues of preserving privacy in the deployment of technology, as we know that every now and then privacy remains challenged. The United Nations Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science for Official Statistics has developed and continues to develop a handbook on training material in all those new areas that we have spoken about. We want to share those new guidance materials with all statistical agencies and institutes across the world. In doing so, this committee has also established a cloud-based collaboration platform, that is the UN Global Platform, so that we can put theory into practice and that we can work together on actual data projects. And I guess Tom Smith will talk a lot more on this one. In addition to that, we have established regional hubs, and one of them is the one that we are signing with Brazil today. And these bring together training closer to our countries in different regions. And of course, these regional hubs become very important in modernizing statistical institutes and building our country capacity to work in all our regions of the world in areas of data science. And of course, these countries and our regions will share seamless information based on the work that we do along the practice of big data across the world. I must admit that as we establish and we sign on in this one on the Brazilian side, it will serve as a basis to move us a step closer to improving data science in general and making necessary changes, I need to repeat, in the history of mankind and womankind. And as we do so, we will ensure that we leave footprints for those generations that will come in the future so that they can know where we were, what we did, and how they will take the world forward. I thank you so much, Ronald, and thank you to all colleagues. And may I vote further, Ronald, that you continue chairing us in the able manner that you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maluleke, for these important words from the point of view as chair of the UN Committee of Experts on Big Data and Data Science. Thank you so much. I will continue and will now ask Mr. Tom Smith, Director of the Data Science Campus of the Office for National Statistics of the United Kingdom, who's been on this journey with us for quite some years. And Tom, I would like to give you the floor. Please go ahead.
Ronald, thank you very much. Can you hear me, colleagues? All good. Good afternoon from the UK, and it's so nice to see so many people here for what is a celebration. And I'd really like to congratulate Susanna and the president of the IBGE and all your colleagues on joining the UN Committee of Experts family and the UN Global Program Platform family as well, with the regional hub signing. So congratulations on that. And it's a really good step forward. And I'll kind of maybe say a couple of the reasons that I think why this is so important. Some of them Risenga has already touched on, and Stefan and Ronald in introductions, and Susanna very well articulated the importance here. But for me, it comes down to what we do as national statistics organizations and institutes. And we're tasked with understanding and measuring what is happening in our societies and our countries and internationally, what's happening in our economies and our communities, the environment. And so providing robust and timely statistics in this way gives decision makers the information they need at the time that they need it. It also informs public understanding. And what that really means for us is we have a duty to use all of the tools at our disposal our disposal. And that means new data sources and big data wherever we can get it. It means administrative data across government, as many are used to using for many years. Of course, it means surveys and so on, but it really means using them all together as well as we can and building the skills, building the infrastructure that we need. And so for that, the really big challenge here, that as the big data and data science group that we are involved in, is how we can work as a community across the globe and leverage, make use of all the skills and all the experience in the different parts of this community, which for me is why the regional hubs are so important and why the global platform is such an important piece. And I think the hubs are really where the platform starts hitting the road, where we're working with NSOs at country and collections or groups regionally really helps deliver on some of the big data value. So I'll talk about maybe 4 things very quickly that the regional hubs and the global platform program really help deliver. The first is on data sources. New and non-traditional sources provide additional input in ways, and we've heard a couple of the examples touched on. But last month in the UN Statistical Commission side events, we held a very successful event on the platform and some of the work that was going on there. And we looked at how satellite imagery is being used for crop statistics, how Earth observation data is used in that way. We heard about how shipping data, the so-called AIS, GPS data from ships globally, can help support trade statistics on really almost a daily or a weekly basis, so very high frequency. And the key here is that these are global sources, and lots of the work that we're each doing or have done already in our NSOs and our statistics organizations, we can support each other and share that experience. We can develop feeds and sources of those data sets, methods, and we can really ramp up and help accelerate the work that we're all doing. And that for me is the key value for the global platform and the work of the UN Big Data and Data Science Committee here. So really welcome Brazil, IBGE participation and joining in with this effort as you have done, and look forward to continue to work together. The second area, as well as data sources, is on the digital and technical infrastructure. We know that the tools and the equipment, the infrastructure we need to work with some of these sources provides a challenge to us as statistics communities. And the UN Global Platform was really one way of helping support the statistics institutes get to grips with some of these new data sources and really make fast progress. So if we solve a problem once through the UN platform and through our program and the regional hubs, we've then solved it for others. And that's a great thing, that kind of idea of sharing and community here. The third aspect, and Risenga touched on this, is capability and skills. And it's clear that there are a whole range of new methods. And for example, working with image data, satellite imagery, or working with very high frequency movement data like the shipping, that brings a new challenge for us as statisticians on how we make use of those data sets and what are the factors or the features that we can pull out. But we also bring a very powerful set of tools from our existing work and our understanding in terms of how you look at quality of data, the reliability and the robustness of the outputs and statistics and so on. So I think there's a really valuable a collision between the statistics communities and between some of the other data science communities here, which I think is hugely exciting and really valuable. And then the fourth point, and I think I kind of touched on this a lot here, the key reason, the real point of the UN Committee on Big Data and Data Science is to share experience and help each of us ramp up on some of the challenges that we face. And so for that reason, and you know, above all others, I really welcome the input from IBGE colleagues and the work that we're doing to collaboratively and collectively solve and use many of the data sources that we know we can use in our statistics. So really congratulations on the work done. There's much more to do. We're just getting started, obviously, but I really look forward to working with you all to make that happen, and very much look forward to meeting properly in person in due course. Ronald, back to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for these important and kind words, Tom. And I think, yes, I think you also have expressed the sentiment that hopefully we can meet sooner than later and discuss everything in person. Now I would like to turn to Jose Antonio Meja and get a voice from the region. And as Susana had already expressed, a friend of IBGE, Jose Antonio, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ronald. Well, greetings to all. Bom dia. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this very special ceremony. It is truly an honor for me to be able to participate and offer a congratulatory statement on behalf of the Inter-American Development Bank. My first experience with IBGE was a long time ago. I won't say how long, but let me say that the institution was celebrating then its 60th anniversary. I had just started working at the IDB and was tasked with getting the files for the latest PNAGI at that time. I was young and thought that speaking Spanish was enough to manage a telephone conversation in Portuguese. It was going well until I had to write down a phone number that was given to me. Deutsch Meia 4. I got Deutsch 2 and 4. Finally, after a long exchange, I understood the missing number, meia, from meia dúzia, that is half a dozen, hence 6. After that struggle, I even got a compliment from a colleague at IBGE who said, ótimo, você fala português. From that moment, all my interactions with IBGE have taught me something new and something different. That has been the case in the last 2 years. In these last 2 years, I have had a chance to work closely with IBGE and learn a lot about the importance of having a vision of the future, acting based on that vision, and pushing forward in the face of adversity. In this case, specifically the COVID-19 pandemic in the last 13 months. And well, let me say that there has been a lot of progress. For example, on some of this has already been mentioned, a lot of progress on data pairing with the inventory of addresses, a lot of progress on the innovations on using remote data collection modes for household surveys, an innovation that was forced by COVID-19, progress on the implementation of quick response surveys, like the already mentioned PNAGI COVID, and on using web scraping for data collection. Being the regional hub for big data in Latin America and the Caribbean will help IBGE bring these experiences to others, but it will also help IBGE consolidate and institutionalize the progress that it has achieved in these areas. And as I was saying, through the years, in IBGE, I have seen an institution that does things very well and in a big scale. Not just to mention, the population covered by the sample of one of the regular household surveys will be the equivalent of a full-scale census in a couple of countries in the region. I have seen an institution that is always looking for new and better ways of doing things. An institution that believes in training, it's probably the only statistical office in the world with a training center that is actually a university, the Escuela Nacional de Ciencias Estatísticas, already mentioned, it even offers graduate programs, PhDs and master's degrees. An institution in which its employees, the famous IBEGianos, do not just wear their pride on their sleeves, they have it tattooed on their arms. And in all those things, in all these years, there has always been a constant trend that I have witnessed, and that is generosity. A permanent willingness to share their knowledge as they did around the year 2000, organizing with INEGI a series of seminars on exploring alternative ways to do population censuses. Around 2010, when they extended that generosity and together with knowledge, they shared the use of the mobile devices utilized for data collection in their census, physically sending the devices and people around the world to share this experience and this knowledge. And they did it not only in the neighborhood, but as Stefan was saying, they went beyond the region and they actually worked with several African countries. Today, around 2020, with the signing of this agreement, we will continue, I'm sure, to see an IBGE pushing forward with innovation on the use of big data for official statistics, which will also graciously share these experiences and these lessons with others. So just to conclude, to my colleagues at UNSD, I will tell them something they already know and they have already mentioned. They have found a great partner, a leading institution in the region and the world. To Susana and the team at IBGE, I say thanks for the opportunity to learn with and from you. And on behalf of the IDB, congratulations on the signing of this MOU, that it may bring great things to IBGE and to the region through IBGE. Thank you very much. Mucho obrigado.
Thank you very much, Jose Antonio, for these kind words. Before I turn now for some closing words back to our chair, Mr. Rizenga Maluleke, I would give the opportunity maybe to Susana and to Stefan to just react to what you have heard at the ceremony. Maybe Susana, if I can give the word quickly also back to you.
Thank you, Ronald, and thank you for everyone's kind remarks. On behalf of IBGE, we're truly touched by these remarks. I'd like to give the opportunity to Dr. Maísa Magalhães, who's the head of our online university, now online, but and has been at the helm of this project since the beginning. If she'd like to say a few words, Maísa.
Maísa, the floor is yours.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Please. Yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So good morning to everyone. I would like to greet the authorities here, there, and everyone presented that virtual ceremony. For IBGE, IBGE is an honor to host the regional hub for big data. This memorandum of understanding embodies our partnership and reinforces our commitment to development and innovation in advancing the use of big data and data science for official statistics. Also, the hub will enable institutions in Brazil and Latin America to collaborate on projects serving as a lever for new methodologies, bring innovation, technology, and thereby strengthening the role of IBGE in the region. It's an honor for ANSI to lead this agreement. And also, I would like to thank everyone involved in the implementation of this agreement. However, I would like to extend a special thanks to the president of IBGE, Susana Guerra, Ronald Johnson of the UNSD, Andrea Diniz, Cesar Marques, for their effort, collaboration, devoted to making this project happen. And thank you, everyone. And I'm very happy for this to have to implement the regional hub to have that agreement, that the memorandum of understanding. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maísa, and we're absolutely looking forward to a collaboration with you and your team going forward. Stefan, 2 words, and then I'll turn to Rizenga.
No, very quickly. Number one, just to reconfirm what I knew already. We are in the company of friends with our Brazilian partners and even further beyond Brazil with our regional and global partners. The ceremony reconfirmed this. And 2 points that Maisa reminded me of that are very important. Number one, she thanked a number of people. And I always know that when we get to these celebratory big moments where the directors sign a piece of paper, what really happens is that probably hundreds of people worked hard over a long period of time behind the scenes to make this all happen. And I just wanted to make a collective thank you and obrigado to everybody on all our side, on the global side and on the Brazilian side, to all those quiet helping hands that really make all the difference. And then she reminded us of a second beacon point. This is not the end of a road. On the contrary, this is the beginning of a road. I mean, we've just signed an agreement that we now need to implement. So let's roll up our sleeves, let's keep celebrating our friendship, and let's start working. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Stefan. And I will give now the last word back to our chair, Mr. Rizenga Maluleke. Rizenga, you have the floor for closing the ceremony. Go ahead.
Thank you indeed, Ronald, and indeed colleagues and friends across the globe. I want us, as we congratulate Brazil, to note that this ceremony of signing today is not about Brazil alone. It's about all of us. It's beyond the region. And for us to make it a success, that it is beyond the region where Brazil sits, we need to harvest as much lessons possible coming out of Brazil. Because after time we sign ceremonies, we sign documents, and after signing, our approach is how much we dish out the information in the direction of regions. But this time, we must learn as much. And the reasons for learning as much is because data science and big data is an area where we are learning. It's like repairing an aeroplane while it's flying. And every lesson matters. And one of the things that we'll need to strengthen the most is the kind of skills that we deploy, not only to the hubs, but also to the region where all this harvesting of data and lessons will be coming from. And as we do so, the world will benefit a lot more better. We still do not know the final kind of an animal we will have. Whether we are riding a horse or a hyena, we will only know in the end. So the dots will be connected right in the end. In my village, they always say that if you do not know how far your dart is going or your spear is going when you throw it in the night, you will never know what animal you hit until you are in the end. So colleagues, this is just the beginning of a lot more work, and let's get straight to work in echoing Stefan's words. I really want to congratulate Brazil again, and in this way, let's make sure that we all succeed as the world. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Rizenga. Thank you all. This was the end of the ceremony. Thank you all for participating. There is a tradition that we took up in virtual meetings. If everyone can open up the mics and then give each other a round of applause for having succeeded in signing this memorandum of understanding for the regional hub and to start the journey ahead all together. So thank you all very much. It was a pleasure today, and I'm looking forward working with everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Obrigado.
Thank you, folks.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank you, Ronald.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Obrigado.